Grizzlies fans, it is the second half of a back-to-back. The Grizzlies are in Cleveland tonight, taking on the Cleveland-Cavaliers. So, of course, joining me, my good friend Cayleigh Griffin, ready to break the third last game of the season for both of us down. This season flew by.
I can't believe we're at game 80. It's crazy. It always feels like, you hit points in the season where it's dragging a little bit. And we definitely had those ebbs and flows. I feel like both teams had them this year, but now we're at the end and it's like, how did this happen so quickly? And so here we are, last week of the season. It's crazy. And this game is definitely important to the Cavaliers. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's go into that. We'll get to the injury report, but I think the main story of tonight is that the Grizzlies did not clinch a playoff spot. The Cavs are in this super tight race in the East right now, where they're in fifth spot, or they're in the fifth spot right behind Orlando, one game behind the Knicks, 2 games behind the Bucks, and you're playing the Pacers, who are 1 or half a game behind you. And so each game truly matters going forward. So the stakes are high tonight for the Cavs.
No question. They are coming off of a 5-game road trip too, a West Coast trip. So, those vibes are always interesting when a team comes back home after being out on a 2-week trip. You never really know what you're going to get. But the Cavs really struggled. They went 1-4 on the road. Their only win came in Utah. They were up 80-49, I believe it was, at halftime against the Clippers on Sunday, and they ended up losing. So it was the second largest comeback of the season by a team in the NBA this season. So the Cavaliers are looking to get something going. Obviously, this is not the momentum you want to have as you head towards the postseason. And before they went into the road trip, they were solidly in third place. A lot of things happened. Some teams obviously won some games. The Cavaliers struggled a bit on this road trip. So like you mentioned, the standings in the Eastern Conference are tight as nails right now. The Cavaliers certainly have an opportunity to raise themselves up in the standings, which is obviously something they'd like to do and regain some home court advantage. But right now, winning games and getting some momentum back is certainly something that this team is looking to do, especially like you mentioned, the Pacers come to town on Friday. That is a team that sits in 6th place right now. As things move forward over the next few days, it could be a potential playoff matchup between these two teams too. So a lot is on the line, and the Cavaliers just, again, looking to just get back to playing their game, which they just really haven't done over the last few weeks.
Let's talk about some of the guys who will, I'm going to cross my fingers for you, hopefully lead this team to playoffs and good seeding and all of that. Donovan Mitchell leads the team with 26 points per game. I think there's 6 guys who are averaging double digits in scoring. Excuse me, Darius Garland. Jarrett Allen is averaging a double-double in 10 and 16, or 16 and 10, excuse me. Talk to me about who you guys need to have a big game tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I tend to lean on the bigs. When the Cavaliers play through Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, their offense looks so fluid. They establish them inside. They get a rhythm with the inside game, but it opens up the floor as well. So the Cavs are at their best when they're playing through their bigs. I'd like to see them start by trying to go to Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley early in this game. Darius Garland has been playing really well as of late too. But Donovan Mitchell, as you mentioned, he is kind of the engine that makes this team go. Unfortunately, he's been really dealing with injuries over the last few weeks. Tristan Thompson elbowed him in the nose, so he fractured his nose back in Houston a couple weeks ago. Yes, you hate teammate on teammate crime. We had to witness that, unfortunately. And he's also been dealing with a knee injury now for quite some time. So the team just played in 2 back-to-backs, and they only played on 1 game of each of those back-to-back with the knee injury management. So it's something to pay attention to. Obviously, it's tough for the Cavaliers because it's nagging him a little bit right now. But I'd love to see Donovan just get into a little bit more of an offensive rhythm as well. You can tell the explosiveness just isn't there right now with the knee. So it's something that might hinder him in the postseason. But right now, again, like I mentioned, it goes back to finding a rhythm, getting into their flow. And I believe it starts by playing through the bigs early and then hopefully opening up the floor for their shooters.
All right, I'm going to go through our injury report because I also think this is important, and hopefully there's a guy that we can talk about on here. So out for the Grizzlies tonight, I literally have my phone because I can't memorize Cayleigh. So out for tonight is Santi Aldama, Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark. So Brandon played yesterday. He's out tonight with a hand contusion. Jaren Jackson Jr., Luke Kennard, John Conchar, John Morant, Derrick Rose, Marcus Smart, Yuta Watanabe, Vince Williams Jr., and Zaire Williams are all out, but questionable. Both Jake LaRavia and Lamar Stevens. Lamar Stevens spent a little bit of time with the Cavs. We have loved his presence so far in Memphis when he's been able to play. He's also been dealing with nagging injuries. but it could be a return to the Cavs. And I think that's the
Yes.
big storyline we're going with today.
Oh, I hope he does. He'll get a very warm reception here in Cleveland too. The fan base loved him here, and he was a great piece, a great addition to this team. I worked closely with him last year. He's such a good person first and foremost, but he's one of those guys that just leaves it all on the floor. He does the dirty work, does whatever you need. When he was traded to Memphis, all of us said he is such a perfect fit for the Grizzlies because he has that grit and grind feel to his game. So I do hope that Lamar plays. Again, I think he will be welcomed very warmly back here in Cleveland. Everyone loved him. I hope he has that interaction with the players as well. So for the sake of the Grizzlies, I certainly hope that he is healthy because you guys need some bodies.
This one tips off at 6 p.m. Central Time. That is 7 p.m. If you're watching in Cleveland. Cayleigh, thank you so very much for today and for the whole season. And I'm just going to speak for Memphis, and I hope that you guys have a good postseason run.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it, Kelcey. It's always a blast talking to you. I love catching up. And, we talked about this offline, but this is a blip on the radar for the Grizzlies, as you guys know. Things are certainly trending upwards. Injuries are out of everyone's control, but next year is going to be a lot brighter. So a lot of good things ahead for Memphis.